Dobar dan! Welcome, fellow travelers and seekers of the unknown, to the shadowed realm of Vaesen, Slovene lands. Here, the whispers of ancient legends weave through mist-shrouded forests and babbling brooks, bringing to life the eerie and the enigmatic. I am Kitschy, your guide and game facilitator, leading you through this stark and mesmerizing journey. In the year 1848, within the rugged and mysterious Slovene lands, we traverse a world where the boundary between the mundane and the mystical is perilously thin. As we step into this unsettling realm, we'll explore the shadows cast by industrialization and enlightenment upon a land steeped in folklore and arcane rituals. Here, amidst the crumbling halls of the Pryama Castle, our society headquarters, surrounded by the daunting majesty of the Julian Alps, the placid mysteries of countless lakes, and the haunting depths of vast forests, we shall uncover the secrets of the Vaesen, trolls, selkies, fae, and other mythical beings that defy human understanding. With the sight, our investigators pierce through the veil of reality, confronting ancient spirits that have lingered since time immemorial, hidden yet ever present alongside humanity. Join us as we rekindle ancient magics and face the uncanny, reconnecting with a world of mystery driven by primordial laws. Brace yourself, for in the land of the Vaesen, the familiar and the fearsome dance an eternal haunting waltz. With me today we have...
Zrejlo. My name is Chris, and I'm playing Joseph Fuchs. He is a man of the hunt.
Oh, yeah. Hello. Hi, I'm Dan. I'm fine. And I am playing Luka Kos, the indifferent. Indifferent? No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Never mind.
Is he indifferent? I don't think so.
No.
I wouldn't
no.
characterize him as
Unnoticeable?
indifferent. Yeah. Discreet.
Discreet, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And I'm Ellie. I'm playing Akka, the stalwart nurse.
Havala.
Va? Oh.
You can thank me too.
Yeah.
And now for a few disclaimers. All characters appearing in this work are fictitious. Any resemblance to real persons, living or dead, is coincidental. This actual play contains themes of violence, death, religion, sexual, and potentially explicit scenes, depictions or discussions of traumatic events, and other adult topics that may or may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised. Please take care while listening, and if you find any of the content distressing, consider pausing or skipping ahead. Your well-being is important. So, let us step forward into the shadows and begin. Veliko Sreće. Previously on Shadows. Nope.
Nope.
Oh.
My body kicked in. Previously on
Muscle memory.
Vaesen, Slovene lands. All right.
Tim just like blacks out, and when they come back, they've narrated an entire episode of Shadows of Prophecy.
It's like, what? Whoa.
All right. Previously on Vaesen, Slovene lands. Our brave investigators, Joseph Wolfram Fuchs, Luka Kos, and Akka were drawn into the fog-shrouded town of Ukanc. Their mission? To uncover the dark truth behind the mysterious drownings that had plagued Lake Bohinj. Assisted by their enigmatic butler, Elgit Frisk, they settled into life at Pryama Castle and prepared for the first mission. Studying advanced research on the effects of drowning, preparing an arsenal, training, and stocking up on supplies. After all, how does one prepare for facing a lake monster, especially when one's resume says investigator, 1 month, and not professional monster hunter. Nonetheless, they steeled themselves for the unsettling journey ahead, ever aware that Vaesen can be quite dangerous. Once in Ukanc, the team found themselves caught between the village's picturesque charm and an undercurrent of dread.
And fish smell.
And fish. Lots of fish. Jakob Lejek, a man of business, introduced the party to the town and provided a brief overview of the drownings, which had begun 2 months ago. Philip, the brothers Dominic and Chris, Tristan, and most recently, Theo Dolinar. While recounting the stories and imploring the party to resolve the issue so that the fishing company may return back to business as usual, Luka noticed signs of violence on Jakob's hands, indicating that he had recently punched something or someone quite hard. The party paid a visit to Stella Dolinar, still raw from the loss of her son, and after some internal and external struggles, she allowed the investigators to examine his waterlogged remains. It was an emotionally delicate moment, and despite the gravity, Fuchs, Kos, and Korolev somehow managed to tread the thin line between somber investigators and outsiders trying not to spook the already traumatized community. Akka's autopsy was a grotesque experience, if not more. The body was swollen, pale, and bruised, the skin stretched taut over waterlogged limbs. But it was the small, unusual bite marks that made everyone shiver. Theories bounced around. Was it a selkie, a vengeful water spirit, or, as Joseph joked, an extremely hungry fish? While the autopsy took place, Luka pressed Father Matei for slander on Jakob, who resisted all the while, but eventually gave in to revealing the man's proclivity to aggression before retreating into the confessionals, plagued by the hopelessness he was made to grapple with. The episode wrapped up with the team tracking down Nico Gucek in the local tavern, befriending him and coaxing him into telling them the tale of the monster at the bottom of Lake Bohinj.
Ooh.
Long ago, when the village of Ukanc was nothing more than a few humble homes by the water's edge, the villagers whispered of a creature that dwelled in the lake's blackest depths, a creature that had lived in the lake from before its first settlers. No one knew its name, but they all knew its eyes, red, glowing embers that pierced through the night, burning straight into the hearts of anyone who dared come too close. They said the monster only came up from the bottom when the lake was quiet, after the sun sank behind the mountains, and the mist curled across the water like bony fingers reaching out to snatch careless souls. It waited for children. Children who didn't listen to their parents, who wandered too close to the lake's edge at night. The first sign of the creature's approach was always a song. Soft, haunting, like a lullaby sung by someone who is neither alive nor dead. It lured you closer, beckoning with each sweet, eerie note. Then the dripping sound would follow. Drip, drip, drip. Like water falling from the hair of something that had been waiting beneath the surface for far too long. If you heard both, it was already too late. You'd see them. Those red eyes glowing in the distance, eyes as deep as the blackest soul, pulling you in, filling your chest with a cold fear that froze your heart. And then, in a moment, the monster would rise, its long, wet arms reaching out, dragging you down to the depths, where the light could never reach. And there you would stay forever, lost, forgotten, with only the sound of dripping water to keep you company. This was many years ago, yet to this day, nobody knows why the monster song went silent. That was until recently. Someone must have disturbed its slumber. So remember, children, stay away from the lake at night. Ignore its song and run at the first drip, 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 calling out behind the audience. Oh, no, it can't be! Not now! Not here! In someone's ear. Roar! And with that, Nico Gucek wraps up his tale as he frightens one of the younger boys sitting at the table by screaming into their ear. And as he finishes his story, he raises a glass towards you all and shouts, oh my gosh, Na zdravie. I butchered the fuck out of that. Which means cheers in Slovenian. And that's the
Say
story.
it back at you.
Yeah.
We say that. Wow. I think you were over like carousing with the boys,
Yeah.
right? And Akka was sitting over a little bit away.
Reading
Yeah.
your book. Yeah.
Yeah. But I could probably hear the story from where I was sitting because it sounds like it got loud at the end.
Yeah. Well, I imagine he's got a pretty bellowy
he's
voice.
very like energetic, theatric about it.
Mm.
He's like really into this story. He's been telling the story for a little while. He's gotten more practice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Interessant.
Luka will wrap up his conversations with the menses, finish off his drink, and then come back over to Akka and Joseph.
I was hanging out.
I think you were hanging out with us.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
guys were having a little
We were having
boys night.
club.
Yeah.
Boys
yeah,
night.
boys night.
But yeah, after getting some ring into my ears, I'll head back with you.
Hmm. Did you hear all that?
I did. Sounds like some good pieces of information in there.
Angry lake person,
Yeah, red eyes,
Yeah.
singing.
big bony fingers.
Doesn't
Yeah.
all add up though.
What do you
Also,
mean?
He said, well, the story says that it goes after children. It has not been going after children. It's been after adults.
I imagine there's an amount of folklore we have to parse away to
Mm.
sort of.
Mm.
I'm sure this is embellished over time as like any of those fairy tales will be, but I mean, clutching, if they got sharp fingers, that'd match up with what we'd seen on the body, where it's like if they grab you, like grab your arm. You remember those indentations we saw?
Hmm.
Or it could be a big fish. I'm still not ruling out big fish.
All right, I won't cross it out of my notebook just yet.
Singing fish. Now there's an idea.
Mm.
What I thought was intriguing is the idea that this used to be a problem, then wasn't a problem for a long time, and has recently started becoming a problem again.
Yeah.
So we know that there previously was something that stopped this from happening, and now something has started it happening again. So in terms of resolving the problem, if we can figure out what stopped it the first time, it seems like a good lead for figuring out how to stop it this time. Because I don't know about you, but I don't feel confident in my ability to defeat a water-based
Oh,
creature.
no idea.
If I get in the water with that thing, I'm simply drowning.
Yeah, we're out of our home field.
Yeah.
So should we try to find the oldest person in town? They'd probably have the best history of the start of the town. Well,
Well, when was Ukanc founded? Do we know? Have we seen on any buildings? Like a
Yeah,
church?
established.
Founded.
Established.
Yeah, the church maybe.
From what you have seen so far, the structures are stone foundation
Yeah.
and wood to thatch walls. So the church is probably the most stone, but it's not like this is not like a very stately church. So it's not like established in this time period.
Yeah, but there's the old cathedral, right?
There is an
Didn't
old
we pass by
cathedral,
that?
Yeah.
Mhm. Which makes me think that
Something
if they've gone
enough
through an
to
entire
decay,
cathedral
yeah.
worth of time,
It's an old. Yeah.
people might be dead.
Yeah.
It might be too old. The problem. Because
The-
they said
the
this.
water problem.
Yeah, because they said this. The problem began when Ukanc was just a couple of buildings.
Oh,
yeah.
gotcha.
And
we
it's
don't
gonna be a
really know
long
how
time
it
since then.
lasted. Yeah.
Yeah. If
Well,
anything,
we could still see if we can talk to somebody who's old. Maybe their grandparents told them something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I imagine it's too much to hope that there's like any kind of written history. Like that seems deeply unlikely.
Unless it was like painted on a tapestry or something.
We're
You
stopping
did
by
have,
town
like,
hall tomorrow.
Town
no?
hall pass.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
pointed
true.
out to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
There is a building that is potentially carries records.
Yeah.
They're also, fishermen are very superstitious sort, and I wonder if, this is sort of the most coherent telling that we've managed to acquire, but if we go to the fishermen with these tidbits, I wonder if we can collect any additional information, like here and there about, specific things that they do to like ward it off, or like, oh, my like grandfather's grandfather, escaped it actually. Also wondering if we should get something to block our ears with.
Like wax.
Yeah, to avoid lullaby effects.
Possibly. yeah.
Anyway, these are my thoughts based on the story. But maybe it's time for bed to go to bed. Because
Yeah,
it
do
is
we have to
pretty
go back
late,
to
right?
Jacob's house.
Yeah.
Don't get hit. Don't start any fights, Luka.
I would never.
We were also maybe going to probe his wife, I think, if I recall correctly.
Oh,
see if there's
yeah.
anything we can... Because she was the one who originally recommended he contact us. She's quite superstitious as well.
Yeah. So
Mm.
she might have a
Theory.
pulse. Yeah.
Yeah. I might also have more information about his behavior. So, go to bed.
Wave goodbye to the boys.
The boys.
Question for the GM. Is that what your official title
Sure.
is for this? In our research, not just necessarily about this particular investigation, but like of past investigations that the society has done, has there been like inklings that like human behavior can cause? Like, is that a general understanding that we have? That human behavior can cause a Vaesen to act out or to become violent?
Give me a learning
Oh,
or observation.
I could do observation.
Okay.
Because my thought is that, like, I don't want to chase Jakob down just because he's a dick. Unless we
Yeah.
think that.
So I
If we
kind
go
of.
chasing every dick down.
Yeah. 2 successes.
Too many dicks.
Yeah.
We'll
We'll be here all day. 2 successes.
Was it for
yeah.
observation?
Yes.
So 2 successes. Yes. So you can piece together that like while a lot of the society has like spent their time, at least this location and everything you've read through has spent their time chasing down monsters as like monster hunters to rid them. You do piece together that through some of the stories, they do seem to be like aggravated by human behavior or activity, like human activity tends to aggravate them. Similar to how like people have established settlements where like a wolf pack would live, and therefore the wolves are then going to attack the people, and then the people are going to kill the wolves. It's the same type of relationship.
Gotcha.
But then extra success is going to do a thing.
Feel good about myself.
Oh.
So smart. You
No,
did so
no.
well with your
Observation
reading.
is the one where you can use that information somewhere.
Great.
You get a +1 if you use that information.
Cool. I'll keep that in mind.
I'm also thinking, in terms of talking to the fishermen, these attacks started about 2 months ago. So, I'm wondering if we can probe about anything that changed 2 months ago. I think Jakob said that he couldn't think of anything, but maybe the people on the ground have a different opinion.
In my research of this lake to learn about its geography, I know there are a lot of bottom-dwelling fish. So
You're really still stuck on the big fish thing.
I'm a man of animals. I see a problem, and I think I need to. There's an animal resource to it, but I have a hunch it might be related to trying to increase yield by fishing deeper.
Oh.
Yeah, something about the way that the fishing, fishing deeper, or maybe fishing at like too often.
Or where the animal usually eats.
Yeah. We're about to catch ourselves a catfish, boys.
All right, so the plan is to go back to the Ležek estate.
Yeah.
You will be greeted by Evelyn Ležek, so Jakob's wife. Basically, she'll greet you. Is there anything that you want to, like, do you want to have, like, a conversation with her, or would you like to just settle in for the evening?
Kind of want to get her backstory. So nice of you to call us. Was just curious how you learned about the little group.
Oh, well, thank you all for coming. I hope that your room has been settled in nicely. I brought your bags in when Jakob went to take you on tour. But yes, of course, I can tell you a little bit about myself and how I came across you. It actually is it's quite a funny story. There's a woman that I met long ago during one of our trips to Paris. She lives in, I believe, the Netherlands now. But she had told me of this society that existed in her hometown, actually. I honestly had originally written to them, but they had pointed me in your direction, stating that you were of closer proximity, which, thank goodness, because you were able to arrive so quickly.
Always happy to help out a local friend.
Of course. Have you been enjoying your time here at Ukanc so far?
It's very quaint.
Yes. Excellent food.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely local sites.
Great architecture.
Of course, with our focus on our investigation, we haven't gotten to partake in as much leisure as we might otherwise.
Understandable. I hope my husband gave you a nice tour, pointed out most of the important things.
Yes. He was able to share with us quite a bit of useful information about the town. I was curious if we could hear a little bit more about the troubles the town has been experiencing from your perspective.
Yes, well, it's hit the town rather hard. It's a small community if you haven't gathered as of yet, and so one death, let alone 4, is quite a number. 5.
I count the brothers as 2 because they're basically always together.
That's right. 4 instances. 5 deaths is quite a lot for a community like this. Quite a large portion of the village is grieving. Then there's the matter of our entire economy being centered around fishing off of Lake Bohinj, and while grieving has its place, it's definitely been new problems present themselves on the horizon. And that's going to just create more hardship for everyone here, I'm afraid.
I see. And what inclined you to reach out to the society as opposed to a different body of investigators? Your husband's letter seemed to suggest that you think there's a supernatural element at play. Or I guess supernatural is probably not how Akka would actually word it. A mysterious, unnatural element at play. Yeah.
Well, at first, I didn't think too much of it. One person drowning is unfortunate, but it's not unnatural. At this point, it's hard to explain how 5 fully grown men, fishermen, who've all lived on the lake their entire lives, learned to swim in these very waters, could be drowned with only glimpses and stories to come of it. It would take, I suppose at least, it would take quite a bit of force to drown a human.
Especially given some of the wounds that we've seen on some of the bodies for aggressiveness rather than just accidental drowning. Yeah.
Mm.
I suppose it could be man-made in nature, but for them to happen while other people were present and go unnoticed, that would be quite a feat.
Yeah, that's what they had said, where they have these night fishing parties, but the claim is that these bodies went missing, like people in the same boat, and then the body's just gone.
That's the stories that the fishers have told.
Okay. So, if I recall correctly, 4 of the bodies washed ashore, while one of them was in a separate location.
Craggy Cove.
Craggy
yes.
Cove, yeah.
There's occasionally a bit of a current here, but it's possible
Yeah.
that it was taken there intentionally. The other reason, and I have spoken to Jakob about this once before, and he thinks me crazy, but I swear I've heard the singing at night. If you listen very closely, sound travels across these waters.
And you've heard them from here, atop the hill?
Not atop the hill, but I've occasionally gone for a walk around the inn and tavern. The coastline there is quite beautiful. There's a nice little beach. You can see Craggy Cove from it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the moon is full, it's quite a pleasant experience. Jakob has forbidden me, of course, from going to the shore at night.
I imagine he values your protection of you.
But early on, when it was just Philip, we didn't know that there was any reason to be concerned.
My last question is that we understand the attacks started about 2 months ago. Can you think of anything that might have changed or influenced these attacks that happened 2 months ago?
Can you give me an observation check?
Yeah, I can.
Can I? How can I help?
You can each give your separate observation.
Oh,
Cool.
perfect.
1 success.
1 success.
And 1 success.
What's over there with the observation master?
No successes.
No.
Whoa.
Okay, tired
Okay.
of looking. All looked out.
I rolled a full house though.
Yahtzee!
All right.
Pull out the
So
Yahtzee scorecard and
Yeah, you
just
just
keep track of it on the side.
as you ask that question, you notice that her eyes trail up to a side table that you had passed earlier, where there is a photograph of herself and Jakob on their wedding day.
Oh.
Oh.
And her response is, no, I don't know anything that would have changed that would affect the lake.
Understandable.
Did they, in the photograph, do they look younger than they are now? Do they look like kind of the same age as they are right now?
About the same age.
Okay.
Is she wearing a ring?
She is wearing a ring.
Does it look like it's been worn for a long time?
What?
Yeah. How old are her? Like, how old do they appear?
They're
did
in their
you
late
say that?
30s.
Okay.
Okay.
And Jakob is also late 30s?
Yes.
Okay.
That seems pretty old
To
to
yeah.
get married.
And no children?
No children, right?
You haven't noticed any photos of children in the
Any
house.
toys in the house?
No, nothing you've noticed.
And neither of them have mentioned. It seems like it would have come up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, noted. I won't pry further for right now, but interesting. How much you want to bet they got married about 2 months ago?
Are you having this conversation with your eyeballs?
I'm just thinking out loud. No, I'm just thinking in my head.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed nothing. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
But
you're like
we're older, so we know, like, we got that
Yeah.
old people sense.
The old people said.
young love,
Yeah.
fresh relationship. They're still, rowdy and
Vivacious.
yeah, honeymoon period.
Vivacious.
I'm over the hill. I probably don't have too much left in me, but so
What does that mean?
Oh my
I'm-
god.
but yet I invented the first Fitbit. So that's from
we established that like 2 episodes
yeah, that's
ago.
from last episode where I ran out of the castle. It was
Yeah, I remember that bit.
yeah. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for welcoming us into your home. We'll see you tomorrow morning, unless you got
No, I'm ready to hit
No.
the hay. It's been quite a day.
yeah. What day is it? It's not Sunday because the priest he didn't say it was.
Oh, I don't think we established what day it was. That's a great question. If you don't have it written down in your notes, we're just gonna say that it is Tuesday.
Okay.
Yay,
Okay,
Tuesday.
Because if you don't have it written in your notes, then I haven't said it.
I don't think we,
I don't think we
established.
did.
We
Yeah.
did not. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's Tuesday. That's established now. So tomorrow will be Wednesday.
Great. As good a day as any.
Yeah.
As good a day as any. Yeah.
All right, let's go to bed. I think I get my own room we established because I'm a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a walk around the lake?
Seems like a good way to get drowned.
I pull out the life vests.
Maybe just within earshot, but not within grabbing distance.
Okay. We could go check out that little beach that she mentioned where that has the
Yeah.
view of Craggy Cove.
Hmm. That sounds like a good point.
And if Nico's tale is to be believed, it seems like this creature jumps out of the water at you. So if we stay far enough away from the water, we should be able to see it
sounded
coming.
like the singing kind of lures you in.
Like a siren.
Oh.
Yeah. So we should maybe grab like candle wax and have it to plug our ears, or at
But
least one person have their ears plugged so they can wrangle all the others.
Evelyn wasn't dragged in.
That's true. She says she's heard the singing.
Is
It's
it a
very
gender
suspicious.
thing?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
Oh.
because it's all been male victims.
Yeah.
True.
Interesting. Maybe Evelyn's the monster.
Sorry.
Are there any non-binary people in
Yeah, hold on. I need to test a theory.
We have yet
Yeah.
to ask a single person their pronouns, so
God, it's unwoke of us. Well, if it is a gender thing, you guys should block your ears because I'm not like if you start trying to get in the water, I'm not going to be able to keep you out of it. I'm not strong enough.
Okay, yeah, I'll get some. I'll try to bum a candle.
cotton or wax or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, you can just have it handy. You don't
Yeah.
have to put it in now. It's fine.
Fair.
I'm just trying to keep you guys safe.
Well, much appreciated.
And we could pick you up
If
if
I
you start
going
walking
in,
to the
yeah.
lake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not such a fan of singing, though, you know? It's never really been my thing. So,
Listening to singing?
yeah. I prefer acoustic, like, instrumentals.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh.
Yeah. A flute of some sort. Perhaps a strum on a stringed instrument. Anyway, let's go to the beach.
To the beach. Night beach.
Night beach.
all right. So you make your way back down the hill towards the inn and tavern and the town hall. And sure enough, when you arrive, you do notice a small little footpath leading down towards a stone beach. The sounds of crickets are starting to swell as the sun has set behind the tree line to the west.
This is
And-
exactly when the attacks happen.
Yes. Can we hear the
I'm
water
very
lapping
nervous.
on the rocky shore?
Yes.
Okay.
So the
maybe-
waters are the
Hear.
water is lapping on the shore. You hear it. The sound when water comes through the stones is almost like a rain stick,
Mhm.
just kind of like.
Ooh, that's nice.
Um,
Or it would be
each-
nice if I wasn't worried about getting got.
What?
And it's probably about a half moon tonight. So it's relatively dark. It's not a well lit night. The only light that you really get right now is the little bit from the moon, the inn and tavern, which is hidden by a few trees, and then a small light on the lake. Maybe northeast of the docks, if you had to place it. It's hard to make out where the docks are off this unfamiliar coastline. They themselves are dark. The whole coast is dark besides this one little light in the middle of the lake.
What color is the light?
It's kind of like an orange hue.
Gotcha.
Is it moving or stable?
It seems to be somewhat stable, but if you continue to watch it, it does seem to move slightly, very slowly.
Like it's bobbing or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe like a light on a lantern on a boat.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Nightfish.
So somebody's out there.
Is it generally quiet otherwise? Like, can we hear people in the inn and tavern?
It's relatively quiet.
Okay.
The inn tavern, the lights are still on, but even as you were passing it, it was starting to quiet. There's no reason to stay up late.
Especially when you gotta wake up early for your fisherman job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I guess nobody's doing their fisherman jobs right now. That's the whole problem.
Yeah.
So do we just sit and listen?
Yeah. Keep an eye on that light.
Yeah.
Does everybody want to give me an observation?
Hell yeah.
Or I think, is it vigilance?
Yeah, because observation is more for like
Aw.
detecting people's tells.
Yeah, let me look up what vigilance is real quick.
Does seem like we would be being vigilant.
Yeah.
Notice
a
someone
strength of mine.
sneaking up.
It's like
Or
Spidey sense.
interpret situations you are monitoring.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Come on, 2 dice.
Yeah, because observation is more empathy, so it's social.
Yeah.
It's a social thing.
Luka's sleepy.
Luka probably has ADHD.
Yeah.
No successes.
I got 1 success.
And that's a 4 on the ground.
All right. Have you plugged your ears?
I got 1 success.
No, that was a joke.
Oh, okay.
She said not. Akka had said not to do it yet. So
Okay.
Well, it's like maybe if you like start as soon as you hear singing.
yeah, then you
Yeah.
stuff it.
So you do listen for a while. You probably stay out there for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, watching the light kind of just slowly. At this point, you notice that it's slowly drifting almost across the lake. Like its position has shifted since you started watching. And it still does continue to kind of look like it's bobbing. The light seems to like ebb and flow a little bit. And that's when across the waters you hear a very faint, high-pitched song.
Block those ears, boys.
Not particularly high-pitched that it's like unnatural, but it's like a soprano voice.
Okay.
Luka.
You can't make out much of what's being sung. The melody seems simple. I'm not gonna sing it because you all can be saved from that. But it's a simple melody. It's kind of just repeats over and over, almost like a nursery rhyme or like a lullaby.
So I just hear the tune. I don't hear words.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's very faint. You can tell it's being carried across the lake for quite some distance. And that's kind of why you can hear it, because it's just reverbing off the surface of the still lake. But again, it is reverbing, so it kind of gets muddled by the time it reaches you.
You hear that? I'd probably cover your ears.
Either of you feeling the urge to walk into the lake?
Luka's gotten bored and is lying on his back throwing a rock up and down.
I cover the ears of Broody, and I start to plug my ears with wax.
What happened? Do we hear something?
I hear a song.
Do I hear it if I focus on it? Now
If
that
you
it's been pointed on.
focus, you start to tune into the frequency a little bit, and you start to hear a muffled melody.
Are there any female fisher people here in town? We didn't see any. It'd be real embarrassing if this was just a night fisher lady. But anyway.
So I have not yet blocked my ears to test our gender theory.
No.
Do I have any?
Nothing
feel any-
compels you to move.
Okay.
So
Do
you
we
pop
feel
out
compelled?
the wax from your ears, and the tune returns to your ears, and nothing compels you to move anywhere.
Okay. So
Does it sound like a human voice?
Yeah, probably human.
Okay.
like it doesn't sound like a bird or some sort of animal.
It's
that
in
we
the
would be
human
familiar with.
range.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
melody is being sung in a human range. It doesn't seem to have any like tonality that suggests like roaring or monstrous maws that would obstruct the way the sound was coming from the vocal cords in a particular way.
Okay.
I wonder if
Um,
it's coming from Craggy Cove.
Is the melody fairly musical? Does that make sense? Like, does
Yeah,
it make
it sounds
sense
like a
from like a
nursery rhyme.
musical
Yeah.
theory? Okay, yeah, okay, cool.
It sounds like a nursery rhyme or a lullaby, something one of your parents might have sung to you as a child.
But yeah, I'd probably agree with Akka. We could try to walk towards Craggy Cove to see if there's anything. If we get closer to the source, or if it truly is coming directly across the lake from us.
Does anybody can we grab like a lantern to bring with us or something? I'm not trying to just like walk out into the night.
I can run back to the inn tavern, see if I can borrow one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, that's easy enough to go grab from either the inn tavern or to have brought from Jakob's house.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
The
Yeah.
house isn't far.
Yeah. I'm also curious if this boat that we've seen drifting, like if that's drifting to or away from Craggy Cove or maybe unrelated. But do we know where Craggy Cove is?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Okay. Great.
I think, yeah.
It would be east from the inn and tavern along the coastline.
All right.
Yeah.
Nighttime walk.
Sounds good.
Got our lantern.
All right.
Just try and be aware of any watery urges.
Some splashing.
Yeah.
Watery urges.
If you feel like you want to be in the water, let somebody
Tell
know.
a friend, yeah.
Yeah, tell a friend.
So you begin to walk along the coast towards Craggy Cove, and you can hear the shifting of the stones beneath your feet. The waves continue to lap up across the shoreline and back into the water. And as you do, you start to notice some rocks jutting out from the surface of the lake, and you start to realize why it's called Craggy Cove. The rocks are sharp, and the water is shallow in this area.
Heckin'
It's
craggy.
just kind of jutting out in many different directions, and you do notice there is an old boat rotting, crashed into one of the rocks, a hole punctured in its side. From the age that you can see through the rotting wood as you shine your lantern light over it, is relatively old. It's probably 40, 50 years old at this point, that this crashed long ago. So the rot has taken its toll on the wood of the boat. But as you're continuing down this way, you do start to notice that the sound of the singing is falling off. It's becoming softer and quieter, suggesting that it is indeed coming from the other side of the lake, potentially towards the docks.
Do we want to turn around?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. We can always check out this boat later. I don't think there's anything hiding in the boat, but
Yeah. From your tour, you know it's about a 20-minute walk to the docks from here.
yeah.
Probably 25 having gone down towards Craggy Cove.
About what time of night is it at this point?
So you would have come around sunset, so we're really only at like 7:30 p.m.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's a lot earlier than I thought it was.
Yeah, it's really just night has just set in as you were, because it was after dinner and hanging out. And
Oh, okay, great. Then yeah, let's go check out the docks. I'm not trying to do this sleep deprived, you know?
Yeah.
I need my beauty rest.
Yeah.
How else do you think I keep my complexion so youthful looking?
Well, you're a doctor, so I imagine you know.
Yeah, your ability to think critically diminishes severely when you're sleep deprived.
it does.
Yeah.
There are two routes that you can take. You can either go back down the main road, up towards the docks, or you can try to keep to the shoreline. It does go through a heavily forested area between you and the docks. There's probably footpaths along the way, But you're not familiar with this area. You can't be too sure of that. But it's a heavily forested area.
I can send Broody out in terms of like way finding.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys want to do that, we can always go the civilian route.
I'd like to keep an eye on the boat.
Yeah.
Or the light.
Yeah.
Assuming it's a boat.
Yeah, if you are confident in your ability to find our way, then I'm certainly willing to follow.
I'll take the lantern. And I take the lead with Broody.
All right.
What a woodsman.
I'm in my element.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of
The-
my element.
Ugh. I'm glad one of us knows what they're doing.
All right. I believe this would be an investigation to wayfind through the forest.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
I got 9 dice.
There you
Wow.
Wow.
Do you want a dice tray?
No, that's okay. I got 2 successes. So
go.
Nice.
2 successes. Wow. Okay. Cool. So, you're gonna be successful. This is not particularly hard. And then I said investigation, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. So investigation, extra successes. I think that's the one where you just
You get extra clues.
get. Clues.
I mean, we're not looking for clues in this one, but
Yeah, but it allows you to do this more easily, which means that you could probably be a little bit more observant of things that you're trying to track in the meantime.
yeah,
Or, like,
more
paying attention to the boat.
clues
Yeah.
or understand context.
Yeah. So as you are making your way through the various footpaths that exist through this forested area along the shoreline, you're able to do so very easily. Make sure that you stay on path, on the right course, while maintaining line of sight with the light on the lake. And you notice as you are going towards the docks, you have your lantern, and you notice that light starts to shift a little bit more quickly across the lake towards the west. It never comes down to the docks, however,
Oh.
and just disappears into the tree line west of where you originally saw it.
Mhm.
Why are you saying, oh, like you understood something?
Means that somebody lives out that way.
Oh, does it? Okay.
I imagine if they don't park at the dock, they must have their own dock, or they pull ashore wherever they
Mm,
store the
guess.
boat, or they might just be fishing west side of the lake. But we are on the west side of the lake, so there's not too much lake to the west of us.
Yeah, and I guess the fact that it started moving quickly means that it, like, they started paddling. Okay.
And after about 25 minutes, you do reach the first set of docks. And throughout this process, you've also been listening for the song. And it has grown. But as you're just about to get to the docks, it goes silent. It's about the same time as the light disappears into the tree line to the northwest of you.
Would we be able to keep watching it if we were out on the dock?
The light.
The light,
Yeah.
it like disappears behind trees.
Gotcha.
Like it disappears into the forest along the northwest edge of the lake.
Okay, so way farther out than like if they're like parking next to the dock.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and like the light just dims until you lose it.
Are we able to get a sense of where along the shoreline the light went into the forest?
With
Like-
that extra success, you can.
Ooh, good job.
Yeah.
So yeah, because you were able to like watch it so closely and actually like keep track of it so well because of your wayfinding, you have a pretty good sense of where within that tree line they disappeared.
Uh,
So you don't know how far into the forest they went, but
Yeah.
you can at least get your latitude.
I know a trajectory.
Yeah.
Maybe we go to that point in the daylight and you can see if you can track anything.
Like footprints. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd probably be easier than. Or, I mean, Broody can track a scent if, but I imagine with all this fish around it, maybe muddled. But yeah, I'm open to either. If we want to at least try to see if we can find it right now
Okay.
and see see the person or whoever in the act.
Yeah, I just don't know how tracking works. If
Oh,
you can do it at
but
night.
that's if we have the light with us, they'll probably notice us as we notice them. So
How
We don't
far
even
away
know
do we
that
think that point is, anyways?
It's probably another 15 minutes.
okay,
Worth a shot.
Yeah.
I'll see if we can get by the light of the moon rather than having the. Or do you? We can. I mean, there's no harm in saying that we were just walking the forest. So yeah, do you want to go now?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we can use the lantern until we get a little closer.
Yeah.
And then shutter it, or just so we don't get lost or
Exactly. Yeah.
trip and fall. The last thing we need is one of us breaking our leg out in the woods in the night.
Be no good.
Bless you.
But yeah,
Great.
we'll skirt around the fisherman's village and keep heading west.
Lead the way. Broody.
All right. So you cross past the second set of docks and the fisherman village. The fisherman village is relatively quiet. You do hear a couple voices, and you do pass some men sitting around a fireplace outside.
Mm-hmm.
They look your direction, but eventually pay you no mind and continue with their chatter.
Anybody I recognize from the tavern?
Yeah, you probably saw all three of them in the
Oh.
tavern at one point
Yeah, boys.
between lunch and dinner.
I'm going to wave and then yell out, "Are any of you out on the lake right now?"
They shake their heads and no.
I wave. Keep going.
Good evening to you.
They give you a little nod and go back to their chatter. And you begin to trudge into the forest. It begins to get thicker, more densely underbrushed.
Mm.
This is basically the edge of town.
Gotcha.
So this has been less walked. And there are fewer footpaths that traverse through this region of the forest. Would you like to... Oh yeah, you're just continuing up along the lake.
Mhm.
And so you continue up the lake for 15 minutes or so until you reach about the point where you think that the light disappeared into the tree line. And you look around, the light flickering from your lantern, dancing along the dark leaves of the trees, and give me... I think it's just going to continue to be observation.
You
Observation?
think? Or maybe
Yeah.
vigilance?
Vigilance is the stealth. Is the
Okay.
anti-stealth.
Okay.
Not investigation either.
Investigation, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you said
You
observation.
said observation.
Oh, I meant investigation. I apologize.
Oh.
I look at one thing and I say
Ooh.
another thing.
I got a success.
All
Me
right.
too. One success.
Nice. I got 2. I got 3.
Okay.
Wow.
Cool.
You are looking.
I did place this as a 2.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay.
Great, I see
so
nothing.
Yeah, we're both just like dark, trying not to trip.
it's dark, and you're looking for a footpath in a general area. Like, there's only so precise you can be with where you ended up on the shore. And so you're looking well going up the shoreline, trying to make sure, like, I'm at about the right spot. I need to start looking now. And it's dark. There's long shadows being cast. Did you have a question?
Oh no, I was doing. You lick your finger and you hold it to the wind. You're like, oh, yeah.
Yes,
He was
you
probably pushed a
lick
little bit
your
by
finger.
a 2 mile per hour wind going north by northwest.
Over here just being like, push.
Yeah.
What the heck?
And as you squint in the light, you notice a parting between two of the large shrubs along the tree line on the shore. And so you peek around it, and you do notice a couple signs of a very patchy footpath here. Not one that's particularly well traveled, but that has definite signs of being stomped down. So it's not a natural forest floor. Some of the roots have the groove marks of a foot being rubbed up against it on occasion. It's a weird way to have said that.
Gotcha.
A little bit.
But like the marks of people traveling the same path.
A habitual path that doesn't seem to be an animal pathway.
Yes.
So
Yeah, this seems more human. The signs are a little bit... The way that the roots are like worn down is more of a smooth, like the heel of a foot or
Gotcha.
a shoe. And so yeah, there is a very patchy pathway leading to the west, and you can follow it. It is one that in the night takes you quite a bit of effort to follow well. You veer off of it a little bit and realize that you've lost the path, so you have to backtrack a little bit. And so the process tends to be a little bit slower than you would normally do in the day. But you are able to maintain that pathway. And you do notice that it winds a bit through the woods. It goes on probably nearing 20 minutes before it starts to curve more to the south.
okay.
And then continue on until you hit a clearing. And in the center of the clearing, you do notice a dim light emanating from a small cottage. It's tucked into the trees at the edge of the clearing. And there is like the faint smell of tobacco smoke. And just like the little light coming from between the shutters of the windows and beneath the door, the cracks around the frame of the door. Just a small little light flickering. If you had to size it from here, you'd probably say somebody has a candle lit.
This person enjoys their solitude to fish or be on the lake and then travel a backwoods path to a little house in the middle of nowhere.
I know. We haven't heard anybody talk about sort of like a weirdo who lives out on their own.
Probably not on Jakob's guiding tour.
No.
Not on his payroll either.
Oh, that's true. He's probably like a competition, slight competition. But should we come back later?
Yeah, on the one hand, I'm tempted because it's like, well, we're here now, but on the other hand, I can't imagine knocking on somebody's door this late at night.
In a remote place?
Might not lead to a warm reception.
Probably not. But maybe we can go back to the fisherman and ask, like, oh, You know about anybody that else fishes other than you guys at night?
Yeah. Seems like they might know about this person.
Yeah, unless you want me to sneak up there.
That works too.
Yeah. Why don't you go sneak and have a look? Just have a little look.
Just want to peek. Ooh, I'm gonna regret
Alright,
this. I
give
feel
me-
like.
Oh, don't fuck it up, Luka.
He pulls out of his
give me a
office,
stealth.
man
Yeah,
mask.
that's
Yeah.
my plan. Is that the right number? Nice. Yeah.
Come on, Luka.
Oh, those are no successes.
Oh no. You step on a branch.
It's a lot of ones.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's very quiet in this section of the woods. Besides the sounds of birds, night birds, and the crickets, there's only a faint breeze, which is why the water was so still tonight.
Mhm.
And so as you begin to approach the cottage, you're taking care to step softly, to mind where you place your feet. Unfortunately for you, the ground is rather uneven. And you come to a section where the grass is taller and you struggle to find clear footing. And sure enough, you do step on a rather large branch. And that crack of the wood doesn't echo, but the sound is deafening in the silence of the forest. It punctuates the night sounds. And you hear from within the cottage at that point the clinking of metal and then the dragging of furniture across a wooden floor, and then you hear the door rattle in its hinges as something is pushed up against it with a thump.
How tall are these grasses?
Maybe a couple inches.
Okay, not that tall. Got it.
A wild
Yeah.
Pokemon jumps out.
Yeah,
at you.
right. I was gonna
Wow.
lie down really quick. I'm the wild Pokemon.
Yeah. Sounds like they're just trying to keep us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna scuttle back to the tree line.
Maybe we come back tomorrow.
Yeah, I wonder if they think we're hooligans.
Yeah, did you all hear that though? They blocked up the door.
Interesting.
I mean, is that not a normal reaction if you're alone in the woods in your house at night and you hear somebody skulking around outside? That's what I would do.
I guess.
Well, there's a lot of animals that live outside, so Yeah.
True.
but it's a rational response, I think.
Come back tomorrow?
Sounds good to me. And we know the way here now, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be easier in the light.
But the challenge.
Oh, sorry, we'll make you do it with your eyes closed.
You gotta put a blindfold on.
I want to do the roll again. Come on, let me do the roll again.
I rely on Broody, so Broody's doing all the hard work.
I have 9 die.
Alright. And so you turn in for the evening. You make your way back to Jakob's house and probably enter a little bit quieter because both Jakob and Evelyn are asleep at this time. So you tiptoe your way back to your rooms in which you are lodging, and if there's nothing else that you would like to do before we hit the lights out, snuff out those candles.
Are there any other photos other than the wedding photo in their house that I can peruse?
Yeah, as you now are starting to come in and out of the house a couple more times, you do notice that there are a couple other photos from their wedding. No other photos of the two of them in the house.
Like individually?
No.
Gotcha.
Photos, I imagine, are pretty rare,
They're
though, right?
special
They're like
occasion.
pretty
really
luxury.
rare. Yeah. So there's only like 3.
Gotcha.
But no children. There's no signs of children at all. At this point, you've gotten a better sense of the house and what rooms exist, and you are indeed taking up the last 2 spare rooms. There's like a little study, the kitchen, dining room, the master bedroom, a water closet, all the standard rooms, and then the 2 spare rooms that you are in. You do also... Actually, no. Do give me an observation or investigation. Sorry, no, not observation. I have to keep remembering that observation is social. Investigation. Yeah. I mean, unless you don't care. Like, if you don't care, I'll be peeking around the house.
2 successes.
2 successes.
No
I'm
successes.
snooping.
2
I got 2.
successes. Okay.
We snooping. You know,
You
if there's
are
one thing
snooping.
middle-aged people know how to do, it's snoop around somebody else's house.
We've got the perceiving eye.
Yeah.
You go in the bathroom.
Like opening
you
the drawer, being like, the silverware is not polished.
Interesting. Oh,
Go in the
so much
medicine
dust.
cabinet.
Run a finger. Yeah.
look at all the drugs that they're taking.
Yeah.
And try to parse together their mental health history.
Wow.
Luka gets
Psychoanalyst.
distracted by Pika.
Yeah.
Um,
You've never had a house before, so
No.
you don't know.
I don't know where to look for things.
So there's gonna be a couple things that you find. One, you are gonna find that there is almost like an altar. Not quite an altar, but it feels like an altar situation in the study. That there is this like end table. There's another photo from the wedding, and then there's also a dried bouquet of flowers and a rope, a like decorative rope.
Okay.
One
Oh, a bind,
that
like hand.
Yeah.
yes, hand fasting type of looking rope. And the flowers still have their color. So they are dry, but they still have quite a bit of color to them. The other thing that you run across is that there is a big gash in the wall in one of the side hallways leading towards the study. It is like a solid wood wall. So it's not like a hole through it, but it is smashed in a bit.
Like someone punched it.
Like someone punched.
Okay, you said gash, and I was like
Like
claws,
Yeah.
or like
No,
a
no,
knife.
like someone
sword?
punched it.
Okay.
Okay.
They're not punching clear through a 2x4.
Right.
But it's like paneling.
But yeah, it is paneling, so it's like cracked and crunched in a little bit, but it's not like a hole through into the wall. This isn't drywall.
Yeah,
We're not
yeah.
punching through the walls here.
How old does this rope seem? Like, you know how when like rope it like
looks
starts
nice.
to fray. Okay.
It looks nice.
Okay.
He's
It's
not.
just like decorative rope. They're not doing anything with it.
But what
That's
if he's
true.
gotten married multiple times and it shows the age of?
Oh.
I'm mostly thinking if it had like dust collected in between like
Oh.
the,
Gotcha.
or if it's starting to fray in the middle, like
No, it doesn't seem to have any dust. The flowers still are they're
right.
New.
color.
Yeah.
Right.
I sniffed them a little bit. Do they have any scent?
Yeah, they have a slight scent to them still.
Oh, I thought they were magical flowers. LOL.
You know, there's like white roses.
It's the Vaesen.
They have like the rose scent is still there. There's a couple other like flowers woven in. And yeah, they do still have not a strong scent, but
Yeah.
something.
I wonder what Akka was so mad about in this house.
I know. I wonder if they.
Probably his workers not doing
Yeah.
their job.
Yeah.
Do we remember how long Jakob has been here? Because he inherited the business from his
father. Yeah.
Does that
So-
mean like he was raised here? Do we remember? Have we discovered this information?
I think that was the case. He said
Yeah, he's lived here through and through.
Okay.
That was the vibe you got.
So he's been here the whole time, but he only got married probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And that's when the lake started taking people. Men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be curious to know if Evelyn moved here.
Yeah, or if she was a local girl.
Yeah.
We could ask her tomorrow. Over breakfast.
Cool. Good to go.
Great.
Sleep time,
Bedtime?
yeah?
And
You're
with
like
that-
already in bed. You're
Yeah.
like, you're like, we're just gonna look around a little bit. You're like, okay.
I found this ham sandwich that was set aside for me. I'm not sure where it came from. Is Elgit here?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's just like creeping through the walls. What? No, he would never do that.
He's busy.
He's
He's trying to
tired.
keep that castle from fucking collapsing.
Yeah, he's bound to that castle. He can't go outside of the town.
That's true. All right, and so you snuff out the candles and you turn in for the night. As the world fades away, the last sounds that you are left with is the sounds of crickets fading into the night. And then it is morning. You wake up. How early? Like, are we all? I'm assuming the doctor and the hunter are fairly early people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like with the sun.
So okay, so you are waking up as the first rays of sunshine are hitting your face. You can already hear the sounds of somebody in the kitchen preparing breakfast. No scents have arrived yet. Just the noises. And you can hear Luka snoring.
And you-
As
Does
we've
Pika snore
established.
too?
Pika snoring. Yeah.
And Pika snores, yes. Oh my gosh, with that squashed face,
Yeah.
the tongue always hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh my god, the two of you.
It's like a duet.
Yeah. What as one rises, the other falls.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Go in for some, I imagine, fish breakfast.
Yeah, I guess I'll probably run into you in the kitchen.
So as the floorboards creak beneath your feet, you make your way down the hallway towards the kitchen, where you find Evelyn beginning to prep breakfast. It looks like breakfast is relatively simple. She does have a pot of water beginning to boil on the stove. Some sort of porridge grain, looks like millet. And then some add-ins, so some nuts, some berries, potentially a couple light sweeteners, so maybe a honey and maybe a maple syrup that's been imported. And she greets you. Good morning. I hope you slept well.
Very comfortable.
Indeed. Yes, thank you for the hospitality.
Did you happen to head out last night? I could have sworn I heard the door late in the night.
Yes. Yes. We had a couple of lingering leads from the investigation that we wanted to follow up on, and we ended up staying out later than we expected.
Oh, really? Leads already? So quickly?
We're the best.
The best at what we do within this area.
It's a localized region.
Wow.
You know, nothing concrete, but when it comes to things like these, no lead is too small.
Well, anything of note?
There's a peculiar song that we heard over the water.
We heard the singing that you were
heard
talking
it?
about. Yes, at the small beach.
And she begins to hum it. This one
Is it that
So-
one?
is the same one.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's the same always.
Yes. I mean, I've only heard it 2 or 3 times, but it was always the same.
And then we encountered this when we were trying to follow the source of the singing. We stumbled upon this little cottage way out in the woods on the northwest, on the northwest coast of the lake. Are you familiar with who it might be that lives out there?
Yes.
Or perhaps, forgive me, are you a local, or did you come here for Jakob?
I am from a neighboring town.
Oh.
I see.
But I am familiar with him. That's Mr. Kosher. He's lived out there for years at this point, ever since I came into Ukanc. Keeps to himself. Apparently, there's some history between him and Jakob.
Like competition in terms of the lake.
Oh, nothing of the sort. The man is really only fishes enough to feed himself, from what I've noticed. More of the social engagement, although I've never pried much.
Of course.
Jakob seemed a little sensitive on the subject. I didn't want to push him.
Naturally. Very tactful of you.
Well, I'm preparing some cereal. Would you like any?
That sounds delightful. Thank you.
Can't say no to a good grain.
Perfect.
Would it be possible to prepare a bowl for our young companion, although he does like to sleep in? You
Of
know how the
course.
kids are these days.
Oh,
We all share a middle-aged laugh. Although I guess 30 isn't really middle-aged, but
Late 30, right?
late 30s.
yeah, she's getting up there.
Yeah, especially in
This time.
this time period.
Yeah.
She's
My
practically
cousin is
dead.
the same way. Can't say that's something that I will be blessed with, but
Oh, I'm sorry to hear.
I've made peace with it. But of course, I'll set some aside.
Thank you. I'm sure he'll be very appreciative.
Anything else I can help you with today?
I noticed that there is a shipwreck down at Craggy Cove. Is there any story behind that?
None that I've been told, other than the fact that it's there and it's been there for generations, maybe. I'm not much of a good sense of that.
Gotcha.
Thank you. This has been very helpful. Like I mentioned, we have a couple of good leads that we're looking forward to exploring further today.
It's been a pleasure. If you do need anything, please stop by. I'll be working around the house today.
Excellent. Likewise, if there's anything we can do to help, you've been such a kind and gracious hostess. So if there's anything you need while we're out, we can pick up for you. Just let us know.
I appreciate the offer. And Jakob will be down at the office, should you need anything from him.
Gotcha.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and as you eat your breakfast, she joins you for a little while before then turning to cleaning, washing dishes, setting aside a bowl for Luka, and then she begins to mill about the house doing some chores that she had for the day, planned out for the day.
How long do you think we should let him sleep for?
Well, he's 18 years old ish.
19.
19-ish.
Do we know from hanging out with Luka in the castle, do we know what time he naturally wakes up?
Don't you wake up at like 2? Or I feel like when we
It
first
was afternoon when you
Yeah.
first encountered him.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
I
know
was
if
taking
that
a
was-
nap.
Yeah, that
That's
was-
true.
That wasn't part of your...
That wasn't part of my routine.
Your 8
My
hours.
right, part of my 10 hours.
Look, I'm like 10 more minutes.
All right. We just,
We got daylight.
Dilly dally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of suspects, what we can talk about this when Luka wakes up. But yeah.
I'll eventually wake up.
Do you wake up naturally in the next 10 minutes, or do we
Probably
have to
not.
come get
I
you?
think you probably have to wake me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tap you with my foot.
Yeah.
I'm holding the bowl of cereal.
Bless you.
Yeah, get up. I make you get out of bed.
Yeah, it's
before I give it to you.
Hold it
Get
outside of
up.
arm's reach.
Get up.
Fine. Okay.
There you go.
So the list of suspects, or at least suspicious folks.
List of suspects.
So we have old man, we have Jakob.
Well, just like, are these not really suspects, but just people we want
People
more
of note.
information about? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So Mr. Kosher,
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Kosher.
Jakob. I guess I had on my list check with fishermen about 2 months, but I feel like we're pretty sure it's the marriage thing that happened 2 months ago that triggered this.
Yeah, we could probably check at town hall too, see if they have records about
Marriage
Yeah.
certificate,
marriages.
yeah.
Town hall. Okay, so I think maybe start with town hall since that's closest,
Mhm.
and then go check out Mr. Kosher.
Yeah, and see
During
if
the
they have any
daytime.
records about other drownings in the
Yeah.
past, in the history of
See
the
how
town.
far back the historical records go.
Yeah.
See if there were any other marriages that correlated to other periods of drowning or something like
Mm.
that, you know.
That's a good point.
Look for patterns.
Mhm.
Data crunch. Pull out the spreadsheet.
Maybe there's a big fish that doesn't like marriages. Did they?
Yeah.
Was the picture of their marriage on the docks? You said, right?
Yeah,
Did I
it
make
was
that
on
up?
the docks.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I hadn't said that, but it was.
You just have
Brilliant.
a sense.
It was, yeah, your sixth
You just know.
sense.
He's like, this man, he's a man of business, and that business is
Your
fish.
ESPN.
Hard at work.
It's tingling. All right, let's start with the town hall
Yeah.
All right.
once you're ready to begin
Oh.
your day.
I put on my shirt.
Thank
Ready.
you.
So as you finish breakfast, a bird chirps in the window on a bow, and you are greeted into the day with the rising of the sun. It is another lovely day, in probably the high 70s, low 80s throughout the day.
Nice.
It's summer. It's Wednesday, because we've established what day of the week it is.
Nice.
Nice.
And you make your way down to Town Hall at the bottom of the hill past the inn and tavern, and you are greeted by a woman called Katerina Novak. She is the town bookkeeper. She works at Town Hall. She's basically the only employee outside of the town elder. Her father, Elder Novak, and her brother, Oscar. So she can freely give you this information. You can run into multiples of them throughout the day. But you are looking for specific information on marriage certificates, correct?
Yes, and drownings.
Marriage certificates and drownings.
In particular, the marriage certificate of Jakob and Evelyn, but also other marriage certificates.
Yeah. So Katerina can assist you looking up the marriage certificates. And sure enough, you were correct. About 2 months ago,
Yes.
2 and maybe a week or so,
Mhm.
make that 2 weeks. 2 and 2 weeks ago, because I realized a week has progressed since the letter was sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
2 and 2 weeks ago was their wedding, so that was back in
June.
Yeah, because we're August. Yeah. So in June, they had their wedding. It was held at the docks. They decorated the dock area, the dock houses, had the reception there.
Does
The whole town shows up. All of that. Yeah.
Katerina seem like a chatty Cathy?
A chatty
She
catty.
Chatty Cathy.
seems free with information, but she's not particularly rambly.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, she's got like a reserved vibe, so she doesn't like engage you with a ton of conversation. She doesn't really like get super into the weeds, but she does seem to give information quite freely.
Okay.
So she helps you find the marriage records. She shows you where all the marriage records for the town would be, if you needed to like go back. But she doesn't really have like any direction in terms of when to look, where to look, who.
Yeah.
But does let you know that you can come back if something comes up and you have like more to go off of in terms of what you're looking for other marriage records. And then the drownings, there are like reports about the recent drownings. So those are really easy for her to find. And then she does point you to a section of like other news of note, like papers that the town has held on to where like important events have happened or other sorts of things like that where they would have actually hit the local news, like Ljubljana, and they would have held on to those papers.
Do they have death records?
They do have death records, yes.
Okay. Do the death records contain information about like cause of death?
Yeah, they do. They're a little difficult to parse through because you have to go through each individual record and like read all about it. This
Not a
isn't
problem.
like a
I'm
database.
extremely good at learning.
Yeah.
I can read.
Yeah.
Technically.
In the
So what I'm hoping to do, if it's like not too much of a pain, is I would like to, and you tell me how feasible this is based on the quantity of information, but I would like to go through the death records, finding ones that seem attributed to drowning.
Yeah.
And basically like plot them out to see if there are any concentrated periods where like more than 3 drownings happened within like a 3-month span, you know, like any sort of like, concentrated areas.
Perfect.
If that's possible.
All right. So.
And then maybe cross-check that against the marriage records, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you had asked for a learning?
I think maybe because I'm very good at learning, but you tell me.
I think there's 2 ways that we could swing this. So investigation is usually just to like find a thing that exists. Learning is going to be more of like piecing together the information to understand it.
I
That
feel
feels
like
right.
learning is applicable because I'm not just like finding the information about the drownings. I'm like cataloging them and trying to understand a pattern or if
Alright.
there is any kind of pattern.
That will work for me. So give me a learning roll.
Yay. Can I borrow another dice?
Oh yeah. What does helping do again? You can add.
It's a bonus die. You have to narratively explain how you're doing it.
I feel like I could absolutely be Akka's like little assistant, who
Look
is
through the
like
stack and find
You
the
Yeah.
can
ones that
also
say
do your
drowning.
own roll.
Yeah.
No.
Which
No,
is
I don't need to do
statistically
that.
more.
Yeah, unless you only have
Only by
a
1 dice. No, that's fine. I like to think that I help Akka.
Yeah, I show you. I'm like, you know this word here, like drowning or
Yeah.
drowned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
I know
look
drown.
through all of these and sort out any that say drowning or drowned
Or water,
something like
lake,
that. Yeah,
or anything like
exactly.
that. Okay.
Put them in a stack over here. Then I'm gonna sort them chronologically and find any patterns.
That I can do.
Thank you. Okay. Oh my fucking God. No successes.
Oh my gosh.
I rolled
7 dice, no successes.
You're still using the same dice, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, after the break, we are switching those out. We're switching those
That's
suckers
awful.
out. Every
7.
single learning roll that you've done has been a
7.
failure.
That's crazy.
Every
Learning
single
is the
learning
thing I'm
roll.
best
I
at.
think that's statistically with 7, like you have a 60% chance of. You have a 72% chance to
That's
succeed.
atrocious.
I did roll 1 success.
You rolled
Oh,
a success.
great. You're fucking
Okay.
better at learning than I am.
I followed your advice to look for the words that say drowning.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's surprisingly easy. Because there's only 1 record.
Oh.
Oh.
Of,
Only
outside of the 5 recent ones. There's only
Oh.
1 record of a drowning. And there's also an associated news article.
Yeah, this was paperclip to this news article I found.
Yeah, so here you go.
Oh, handout.
Oh, I see a
We have a
lady.
handout.
I'm not reading it.
Do you want to read it? No.
All you.
Okay.
You found it.
It's interesting. It is with heavy hearts that we announce the presumed passing of Zoya Herzog, who went missing near the shores of Lake Bohinj. Zoya, beloved fiancée of local fishmonger Jakub Lezjek, was last seen walking along the lakeside before her sudden disappearance. Despite an extensive search, only remnants of her clothing were found, leading to the heartbreaking conclusion that she has been lost to the lake's mysterious depths. Zoya was a beacon of kindness and warmth in our community, known for her gentle spirit and soft-spoken nature. She brought comfort and joy to those around her. Her presence was a light to all who knew her, and her loss leaves a profound void in our hearts. As we mourn the loss of Zoya, we remember her as a loving fiancée, a cherished friend, and a kind soul who touched the lives of many. Her memory will remain with us, carried in the whispers of the wind over the lake she loved so dearly. Zoya Herzog will be deeply missed, and her legacy of kindness and love will continue to inspire all who were fortunate enough to know her. May she rest at peace. And there are some illustrations of a woman gazing at a mirror. It's hard to tell. They're a little bit blurry, but
They're like other news articles.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were related.
There's no picture of Zoya there.
There's like Mount Triglav there, and there's a winged angel. But yeah, so it seems. Was there a date on this article that I found?
There was.
Presumably within the last
So the
10,
date
20 years.
on the article.
Yeah.
If she was marrying Jakob.
Unless
Yeah.
the father's name is Jakob.
Fair.
Yeah.
So it is dated. Oh gosh. It's dated 6 years ago.
Okay,
So she drowned and turned into a vengeful spirit, right?
maybe.
Or maybe she was drowned and turned into a
With
vengeful
that, we shall take a brief intermission to allow the shadows to deepen and the mysteries to simmer. For the next 15 minutes, immerse yourself in the atmospheric embrace of our interlude. Whether you are watching our video, where enchanting fog scenes will drift across the screen, or listening along to the haunting strains of Slovenian folk tunes. Take this time to refresh yourself, sip a glass of water, stretch your limbs, and perhaps indulge in a small treat. Let the whispers of the land call to you as we prepare to delve back into the enigmatic world of Vaesen, Slovene lands. A timer will count us down, guiding us back into the heart of our adventure. Return soon as the shadows await and the veil beckons.
Če bo pa trta ratala, ti dreja, pa bova vinčka upala, ti dreja, ti drom. Ko sinček bo v zid iskal, ti dreja, ja švinci svoji bom naslal, ti dreja, ti drom.
Sama mi
in a new cathedral.
Chris just
Hi,
talking
everyone.
through the transition back into.
Oh, I'm on the wrong image. anyways. We're back. Okay, we're actually
Yay.
back to the right setup. I'm in the right scene with the right people and the right sounds. Hi, we're back from our 15-minute break. I hope you all enjoyed that break and had some nice treats. I don't know why I'm talking like a lizard person.
I think we all
Yeah.
know why.
What? Anyways, we had just left off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. We had just
No.
uncovered
No.
a very tantalizing handout that Chris has not been able to resist reading and discussing during break. So he's going to have to recount all of those revelations for the audience now.
They've all fled from my mind, other than that
Mind wipe.
Zoya and Jakob had not been married. She's only referred to as a fiance.
So they were engaged.
Yeah. And I forget the other one.
It's interesting they have an old inn and a new inn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
An old church and a new church.
I'm guessing that is less supernatural and more just, oh, this one fell down. We're just going to build a
Infrastructure
new one.
related.
Um,
I mean, but it does suggest like a certain history to the town.
Yeah.
You know, like it's been here a long time. There have been many iterations of it.
and it seems like they're moving east.
Oh,
Hmm.
away from
Yeah.
the singing and the weird cottage.
Can- I would like to ask Katrina a question.
Katerina.
Katarina, so sorry. What do the Hercogs do in town? We've yet to meet them.
Okay.
Wait, sorry. Can I see this? Is it Jakob Hercog?
No, it's Zoya Hercog.
Oh, Zoya Hercog. Okay. Yes.
So she was,
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
yeah.
And Jakob Lesjak. Yeah, who we know. Okay. Great.
The Hercogs are a local investor. Their family's been around since the founding of Ukanc.
Old
Investors, like, where did they get their money from before? Do you know?
They've been investing in really Jakob's business for a while.
money. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The two families have been quite entwined for most of our town's history.
And still, to the case, they're still connected now.
They are. Honestly, it was probably the unfortunate tragedy that brought them even closer.
Hmm.
Do we think he killed her?
Excuse me, I beg your pardon.
Sorry, I'm
That's-
talking about this fascinating novel that I've been reading.
Quite a statement.
Do you keep up
Oh.
with the periodicals?
Oh, no, sorry. I thought you were talking about this current conversation.
Oh, no.
Oh,
we,
no.
No,
Sorry,
she drifts
my mind
sometimes.
we were talking about whenever we were walking here. It's actually a fascinating plot. If you,
Mm.
There are
All right, I'll keep my
7
mouth
dogs,
I
one of which
understand.
can talk.
The mind does wander while you're spending your time indoors, alone, days on end.
I recommend the periodicals.
Anything that you'd like to recommend in particular, or
I'm not sure what you can get out here. We're
Ah.
not local.
that's fair? Not much.
That was close. Sorry, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Well, we appreciate your time.
Of course,
Are
and
we-
if you need anything else, I'd be happy to help.
Should we go talk to the Hercogs?
Shall we? Yeah.
Sure.
So we leave.
We remember where their estate is, right?
Yeah. We
Yeah.
walked past
I
it.
think it's on the main road.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So we think he killed her?
It seems oddly coincidental.
I guess I'm on the fence because if he killed her, it seems like she would become wrathful immediately. But she didn't become wrathful immediately. She only became wrathful when he remarried.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he didn't. Maybe she just drowned tragically.
But
And
it's
sh-
still a wrathful spirit.
she's like
Yeah.
a ghost tied to a spot, and that seeing new bride, especially if they were married on the docks, where if she's bound to
Yeah.
the lake, she's gonna be like, oh, I didn't get invited.
It's interesting that, I mean, historically there have been stories about this spirit, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like maybe that spirit from the like historical one doesn't exist anymore, and now there's like this new we're pretty sure it's Zoya, right?
Yeah. I wonder, can we confirm, like Katrina's been in, she's a native. Does she confirm that this sort of local legend of a lake monster, or is this something that's popped up because
Yeah.
young hotshot 18-year-old
Yeah.
Nico.
So
Gucek,
if you
Nico
ask
Gucek.
Katerina about it, she just is like, no, he made that story up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great.
She's like, no, he's
a
just been
liar.
scaring children.
Liar pants.
There is, supposedly he did tell people he heard splashing the night that
Oh.
Tristan died. He was out there. So Tristan was the second drowning.
Gotcha.
No,
Yeah,
Sorry.
because Matthew, or
third. Because the
Philip
twins
was first.
were second drowning.
yeah.
So Tristan was the third drowning, and he was present that night.
Mhm.
And he heard the splashing, but then by the time he got to the edge of the boat, Tristan was gone. And I believe we also established Tristan was the one that washed up in Craggy Cove. Believe.
Do
Have-
we?
Yeah. The rest of the story, it seems to be all made up.
Yeah.
Is there a chance Nico is killing these guys and coming up with this as a cover story?
I wonder what the motive would be.
I don't know, but I'm just saying. Do we feel confident in ruling out foul play?
You know him best.
He didn't seem the type. Did
Okay.
he? Did he seem the type?
Did we do any
Vibe checks?
observation
I
checks?
didn't.
checks?
I don't think.
You can do
I
an
mean-
observation check, and I can give you a vibe.
Vibe check on Nico.
Like the cause of death for the autopsy, the one that we did was consistent with drowning.
Mhm.
Yes.
What did you get?
How
I
many-
rolled a full house, none of which are sixes.
Oh, okay.
Mark it off on the Yahtzee sheet.
Yeah, we're really moving down the Yahtzees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing that gave you murderous intent vibes.
Cool.
You know, all those murderous intent vibes you get when talking to random strangers for the first time, you know?
Yeah. Well, maybe if we get Jakob and Evil into divorce, that'll solve the problem. I'm just spitballing. I'm
Yeah.
brainstorming. There are no bad ideas in brainstorming.
We'll put it on the board.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah, let's talk to the Herzgogs. What information are we interested in getting from them?
Their relationship with Jakob
Yeah.
and his relationship with their daughter, or
Yeah.
with
Zoya?
Zoya. I'm assuming that the parents will be there still.
Yeah.
In 6 years.
Great. To the estate.
All right.
Time to interrogate another set of grieving parents about their dead child.
They've had a little
Luckily,
bit
this one was 6 years ago and not 4 days ago.
of...
All right,
Yeah.
fingers crossed.
So the Herzog estate is Hercog. Sorry, there's no Z in there.
Well, the Slovenian C is made like a t's.
Oh, okay.
Herzog.
Herzog. Got it. I had to look at what I wrote down. All right. The Herzog estate is a little lively during the day. They seem to actually have a couple staff on hand. This is aside from Jakob's house. Actually, no. This is more stately than Jakob's house.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm astounded that a small town like this can support a fucking venture capitalist.
So, this is the Herzog Villa. So this is actually a collection of multiple family homes. So there are 3 main structures in total, as well as a kind of a servant's quarters house. I think there's a different name for that, but there is a separate help house that is just like a small little cottage on the estate. There's also like a little shed, and then the road actually goes out into a roundabout around these 3 structures. There's people that are able to greet you, that are like the butler type of the like, not butler, but the groundskeeper and the maid. And then they can introduce you to the Herzog matron and patron, whose names are... Their names are...
Werner.
What did you say?
Werner. Like Werner
Werner?
Herzog.
Oh, I was gonna say Victor.
Oh, yeah. That was just a joke.
Victor and Nia Herzog.
Mia or Nia?
Nia. N is in nice, which is a bad example.
Oh no. Is he gonna be mean?
Nuance. No, because nice and mice are...
Oh, the same. You could.
The
They,
same.
they sound.
I see. Yeah, it's not a very good differentiator.
Yes, correct. So nuance, Nia.
N as in nice, which she's not.
So they would be able to introduce you, but like, how would you like to approach this? Is there like a particular... Would you rather talk to Nia or Victor? Would you try to talk with the groundskeeper or the maid? Or are there other things that you would like to try to do as you're navigating this social situation?
You're a little schmoozer. Do you want to take the lead on this one?
I can. I'm trying to decide my approach. I want to talk to the maid.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like, so do you want to like arrive and just talk to the first person you meet, or are you just trying to like get to the parents?
I would like to get to the parents' house and then talk to somebody who is not the parents in the house. Like if the groundskeeper could lead us to the house where I talk to the maid who answers the door, excellent. That sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll do that. The groundskeeper greets you because he's like the one out and about, flags you down. You go over and talk to him. He takes you to the house. The maid opens the door. Hello.
Why, hello there.
Oh,
Are you looking for a name tag?
Iris.
Oh, hello, Iris. Lovely to meet you. I don't know if you heard, but we are investigators from Ljubljana, here to see about the poor, unfortunate tragedies of the drowning fishermen. And we have been surveying the different...
Introduce yourself.
Oh, yes, of course. So sorry. Thank you. I'm Luka.
Nice to meet you, Luka. All the way from Ljubljana.
Yes.
Wonderful.
It's a quick trip. Have you been before?
I have not myself, but the father and mother of the house have.
Oh, wonderful.
Plenty of times.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure they had a wonderful time in our little city. Well, we were surveying people in the community about what they might know or think about the happenings in the lake. And so we were here to discuss that with you and the patrons of the home. And also we bring our condolences. I know it happened a while ago, but we were looking through some old records at the town hall and saw about their past, I imagine, daughter. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, poor girl. Such a wonderful spirit.
Did you know her well?
Actually, I was her tutor growing up.
Oh, you don't say. What was she like? They rarely talk about her in the papers, but she seemed like a lovely young woman.
She truly was. I really enjoyed my experience rearing her. Always such a gentlewoman. from childhood until she matured, and unfortunately, her life was cut short.
And shortly before her wedding, nonetheless.
Yes.
I'd like to get a read on that response. Thanks, though.
That's the most anemic yes
Yes,
I've
it
ever
is.
heard.
Observation?
Yeah, give me an observation.
Oh my gosh, I'm rolling like garbage tonight. Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing.
Nothing for me.
Yes, sorry, talking about her is bringing up some old feelings. She really was a lovely woman. It's so sad that she had to part so early. Is there anything that you wanted to know in particular, or?
Well, I apologize. I don't mean to bring up any or drag up any bad feelings or memories of her.
No, don't worry about it. I understand. You're doing your job.
Was she close with Jakob when they were to get married?
I expect so.
Well, I know that in some places, some marriages are more for love and some are more for business, to say it bluntly.
Give me manipulation.
That I'm good at.
Oh, manipulate.
I roll 7 dice for this one.
Wow. Good luck.
4 successes.
Whoa.
and
2
Wow.
successes.
Dies of mental
2
trauma.
successes. I make her. I
You
break
torment
her.
Yeah.
Why is that the only manipulation you can do?
I do not want to do that to her, just so we're clear.
Yeah. Just check.
I will treat it as a singular success if I have to, if that's the only benefit.
I manipulate her. And then you know what? I fuck her up a little bit.
So, as you press further on that, you see that she takes a beat to respond to you, and she looks behind her, and like you see that because you're at like the front door, so she like looks behind her, and you can see that there's like a sitting room and a kitchen off to the two sides, and you see that she like peeks over in either direction before she then ushers you inside. She doesn't respond right away, but she actually takes you down through to the back of the house, where there is a small side room with a writing desk inside it. And after ushering you all in, she quietly closes the door behind you. Honestly, I'm still angry at them for pushing her into it.
What did I say?
She was such a sweet girl. She didn't deserve him. And least of all, him deserve her. I guess it's the silver lining in the whole tragedy. She didn't have to be shut inside with that monster of a man. And you can tell at this point she's kind of hushing her voice a little bit, although there is a fervor behind it. Like there's still some like anger that she is holding back.
Did Zoya feel this way?
That poor girl. All she could ever express was the sadness that it brought her.
Did she kill herself? Oh,
But she did
terrible.
her best to cover it up. She played her role as her parents asked her to, and as I asked her to. It's my biggest regret in life. I should have been there
understand.
for her.
It can be hard not to linger on what we could have done differently.
But I should have known better.
it's no help to her or you to rake yourself over the coals for the past. She would have wanted you. Do you think she would have wanted you like this? To feel sad, to blame yourself? No. Just
She
from
wouldn't
what
have
little
wished
we
that
know
on
about her.
any of us.
So live the way she would have wanted you to.
You see a like grimaced smile stretch across her face, and she clasps her hands and lets out a sigh.
Thank you for sharing this with us.
Of course.
It's more helpful than you can possibly know.
I do hope so. If you don't mind, if I should get back to work now.
Of course.
I can introduce you to Nia or Victor if you're still interested in talking with them.
If you don't mind.
All right. She brushes herself up, wipes away some tears, kind of dries her eyes a little
We're
bit,
just going around making people cry.
and then she will take you out back to introduce you to Nia Herzog, who is sitting at a little bistro table on the back patio.
Oh,
Let's see.
little lemonade. Oh,
Big
And
sunhat.
Jay,
the
yeah,
blood,
she has
big
like a glass of
sunglasses.
some sort of like fruit tea.
wow.
Teas are actually really popular in Slovenia. Herbal teas and fruit teas are very popular. Not a lot of green or black or like actual caffeinated tea. So honestly, like an elderberry tea would be like
Wow.
something.
What a
yeah.
classy lady.
Um,
Now, this is a lady who seems like she goes to into town.
She goes to Ljubljana maybe once or twice.
This is a lady who's been to Paris. Well, I guess it's Evelyn who's been to Paris. That's crazy.
So as she sees you, she actually gets up from the bistro table, and she like glides on over, and she goes, "Oh, you must be the people in from Pradyama, was that? Delighted to
say?
meet you.
said Ljubljana.
Gosh darn
Nia
it.
Herzog. What do I owe the pleasure?"
We, as you know, are investigators looking into the tragic drownings that have happened as of late. And we are here to talk to the locals to see if they have any information or if you have any speculations as to why these sudden drownings occurred. I'm Luka. It's a delight to meet you.
She like leans over towards you and she holds out her hand.
I give it a
She
kiss.
goes, "Nice to meet you too."
Please return to your seat. We will come to you.
If you insist. And she sits back down. Would you like a glass of tea? I'll send Iris to make you some.
If that's not too much to ask for.
Of course, join me. Iris, please. Thank you. Well, tell me about yourselves. You're here from Pradyama. That's a quaint little city. Are you, do you travel a lot?
Yeah.
Yes.
More and more as of late, it seems.
Yeah, we get around.
Wonderful. I think traveling feeds the soul. It's such a liberating experience just to become worldly.
Opens your mind to a whole new world of
Precisely.
people, places,
precisely.
things.
You're quite a traveler, aren't you?
I've seen my fair amount of towns.
I thought I sensed that on you.
He has a restless spirit.
Yeah, I'm a wandering soul.
So, what brings you in? I mean, I know you're investigating, but how does that bring you about here? What ties you to this town?
When Jakob sent for us.
Jakob. Oh, interesting. Never would have thought he'd reach out to external folk, but
It seemed at the behest of his wife, Evelyn.
Desperation does not look great on that man, but I think we're all there.
Can I do an observation check on that
Yes.
statement?
It's
She's got
so
some,
shady.
yeah.
Really catty. One success.
One success. Yeah, you can tell that there is a rivalry between them.
I imagine he is.
Sorry, between who?
Between the Herzogs and Jakob, the Lezhiks.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So that's like a family rivalry.
It's a family rivalry. These are the two wealthy folk in town. They've done business deals throughout the generations, and some of those have been wonderful, but there's always a who gets to give and take a little bit more.
Yeah.
Did I pick up on anything about like her feelings on Evelyn? Because I thought, well, what I thought was
Yeah.
when she said desperation doesn't look good on that man. She's like, oh, like
the wedding.
yeah, like his new wife. He's so
Oh.
desperate for like. That's what I thought she was alluding to. Is like my beautiful daughter, and now he's desperate, and so he's married this whore or whatever. That's sort of what I was. But
it's hard
maybe
to
I don't
parse
pick
out
up
like
on it.
what the like
Yeah.
tone is from and alluding to. But like throughout the rest of the conversation, because we can kind of fast forward through a couple pieces of information from that. So throughout the conversation, you do get a sense that like, she is wary of Evelyn being an outsider coming from another family of money in a neighboring town. But at the end of the day, there's no ill will towards Evelyn because like her own daughter died.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's not
it's
like,
not like a competition.
yeah. So like it's not like she can change anything about that for the time being. In all honesty, in the next generation, those two families will probably marry off again. Like that's the likelihood in this situation. She just, yeah, there's always like competitiveness.
Okay,
It's like a competitive rivalry.
Okay.
So, and the Herzogs are heavily invested in the Lezhiks company,
Yeah.
their business, as well as some other businesses in the area. So they truly are investors. They don't
Yeah.
own anything. They are just putting
Shareholders.
their shareholders into multiple fishing companies in the region.
So what are her thoughts on like the work slowdown or the work shutdown that's been happening as a result of the drownings?
It's impacted their income slightly. Fortunately, their family has been relatively sheltered from it just because they have other contracts set up.
A diverse portfolio.
They have a
Yes.
diverse portfolio of fish.
Do we have you found that similar occurrences are happening to other of the fishing companies that you have stock in?
Well, no, it seems to be very localized here in Ukanc.
Are any of the other companies you have stock in based out of this same lake, or do they fish out of different lakes?
Most of them are here in Lake Bohinj. And we also have some investments in some local logging companies.
Yeah.
I see.
We ran into some information around a Mr. Kosher who had a tussle with Jakob Lezhik. Do you know anything about that?
Oh, you can pay Mr. Kosher no mind. He's really a drunk is all. Just kind of wallowed in his own filth and sorrow ever since I've known him.
No, is there a reason to cause that sort of downward spiral that you know of? Was he married at one time?
Honestly, he was always just a bit of an eccentric.
Gotcha.
Such a strange man. I don't know what Zoya ever saw in him. Well, glad that's over.
What do you mean? Did he and Zoya have a friendship?
if you could call it that. It's like when you pity the runt in the pack.
Ah, well, it sounds like she had a very kind heart. So it's no wonder she was drawn towards a charity case such as that.
Yes, very much so. She was a very sweet girl. Everyone always said so. Her father and I raised her well.
Her memory is a credit to you.
Well, this has been lovely.
I finished my tea.
We appreciate your time. Yes, and we will stop by again if we have any other questions.
Thank you so much. It's been enormously helpful.
It has been a pleasure. Please do stop by and tell me some stories of your travels. I'd love to hear about them.
Oh, yes, of course. Another time over tea. Oh, quick question.
Yes.
Did Zoya sing?
From time to time. Why do you ask?
Just wondering. We've heard that we heard that she had a lovely voice to talk to, and I am fascinated by singers, and so I was just a thought that passed my mind.
A voice as lovely as everything else about her.
She probably gets it from you. I see a singer that somewhere down there deep.
I did have my heyday
I can
You're
tell.
such a fucking
back in the
charmer.
Loire.
Wow,
I
alright.
did travel with a group of girls. We
Cougar
were
hunter.
part of quartet.
Did you sing to her when she was young?
Why, of course. What mother wouldn't sing to her child?
Any favorite lullabies of hers?
There was this particular one. There was one I sung about. What was it about again? Huh, a fox. A fox that ran through the forest, but took the visage of a woman. How does that tune go again? And she begins to, like, vocalize a little bit as she tries to find the pitches.
Can I try and... This feels stupid. But can I try and recall what the song was that we heard last night?
Yeah.
And hum it lightly with her to, like, get her on...
Yeah. So as you do, you draw her to that melody, and she begins to hum it with you. Yes, that's the one.
Yes, I heard that one as a kid as well. Must be popular in this region.
Oh, interesting. I've never met anyone else who knew it. It's taught to me by my mother. Well,
Well, anyways,
thank
this
you.
has been lovely.
it has been. See you tomorrow for tea, lunch time. I'll have Iris make us some sandwiches.
If we can find the time, we will absolutely swing by.
See you then.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And with that...
Wait, can I share my working theory before we sign off?
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I think Zoya killed herself, and now she's trying to save Evelyn from her. Like, Zoya killed herself instead of marrying Jakob, and now
Oh.
that Evelyn has fallen into his clutches, she's trying to, like, get to Jakob to try and help Evelyn
Yeah.
or, like, save
Interesting.
Evelyn. That's my theory.
And I think with the lullaby, we're confirmed it's her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But that also means that the person on the lake with the lamp
Is
that we
her
were trying to follow
friend.
is her friend and
Yeah.
knows her and talks to her and survives.
Wow.
Yeah. So the killings didn't start because she was angry that Jakob moved on. The killings started because she
Evelyn.
she feels pity or sympathy for Evelyn.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Who was the
That's
guy
my
that
theory.
she
Kosher.
Kosher? Was that
Kosher.
the guy who's out in the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
weirdo in the woods.
All
so
right.
we'll talk to him next.
Yeah.
Next
What
time.
Lovely
Mystery
theory.
unravel.
With that, the curtain closes on this installment of Vaesen, Slovene lands. The calls of the wild linger for next time. A heartfelt thanks to Free League Publishing for their steadfast support of independent TTRPG creators through their open gaming license rules, and for crafting the rich tapestry of Vaesen, especially to the talented writers Niels Hintz, Niels Carlin, and Rickard Antoya for their exceptional setting and guidelines. Our gratitude also extends to Thomas Herenstam for the Year Zero game engine and to Niklas Lundmark for his crucial role in making this game accessible through translation. We also owe our thanks to Nurea, whose haunting renditions of Zrejlo, Žito, and Andro have beautifully enhanced our intro sequence, and to our incredible players. Ellie, Chris, and Dan, whose performances breathe life into their characters and craft the tales that captivate us. Finally, thank you, Russell, for helping me prep for these sessions and for moderating on our channel. This project has been a profound journey reconnecting with my heritage, a heritage disrupted by historical and personal trials, from the destruction of historical records during centuries of crusades and colonizations, enforced language barriers due to assimilation theory in the 60s, and the loss of my grandfather during the COVID-19 pandemic, my last direct connection to my homeland. For all of those, like myself, striving to reclaim and redefine their cultural roots, I stand with you. May you find grace, empathy, and kindness in your journey. As David Mitchell eloquently wrote in Cloud Atlas, our lives are not our own. We are bound to others, past and present, and by each crime and every kindness, we birth our future. Thank you for joining us. Farewell for now, and may the echoes of the past guide you until we meet again. This is actually next week.
Yes.
Next week.
Next week. Bye.
Bye.